Good morning, everybody who's able to join us. We're sorry for the mess up that happened again. YouTube's phasing out some of its software, so we need to keep upgrading it. I missed that. So we have here, as I said, a special guest. This is Krina Jhaveri, my friend. Hello. She's a fitness instructor, a yoga instructor, and like I said, overall sensible person. So I thought she could demystify some of the questions we have about exercise for us. And if you have any questions as well, please feel free. There's a chat. You can use that, and we will answer them as we go along. So Krina, first of all, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
I should say also that Krina is also part of the 100 Days of Focus. She's in this journey with us.
Yes.
How have you been doing with that so far, Krina?
So far good.
So far good? Yeah. I hear you've missed just one day so far for your manifestation goals. Yes. That is pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome.
I was really sick, so I felt bad, but I said, it's okay. It's okay. I'm doing it, right? I'm still doing it, so then it's good.
Absolutely. I think one of the important things is to just be kind to yourself and recognize when you need a break and to have the consciousness to do that. Yeah, absolutely. So let's get back to exercise, Krina.
Okay.
My first question for you is, what is exercise?
So exercise is you're working any muscle, you're contracting a muscle, and it could be against resistance, right? You could be using bands, resistant bands, you could be using a dumbbell, even walking, right? Running, you're going against gravity and doing something. So basically you're working a muscle, you're contracting a muscle and against any resistance. So you're building the muscle, you're getting the muscle to be stronger.
So in simple terms, anything that requires you to contract a muscle is exercise.
Yes.
Then why is there like so much confusion around it about how much you should be doing and doing 10,000 steps a day? I mean, honestly, if I just follow an exercise that's prescribed for me, but if somebody had to tell me, you know what, go figure out your own exercise, even I wouldn't know what exactly it takes. So what exactly should we be doing in order to get this contraction, optimal contraction?
So any exercise, of course, as I said, just begin. Okay, and fitness, of course, has different components, right? It's not like most of us think that, like, let's say for a 25-year-old guy, for him, building up, buffing up could be his idea of what fitness is, right? For a woman who is overweight, losing weight could be her idea of fitness.
Okay.
So there are different ideas, different people. People think different things about fitness, but basically fitness has different components and we need to invest in each one of this to get the optimal level of fitness. So you have components like flexibility, agility, stability, strength, endurance, hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is building up muscle, right?
So that's like the big buff. Okay.
Yeah.
So that we're familiar with. That everybody knows about.
Yes. That's the most popular one.
Okay.
Yeah. So all of these components in equal amounts, I'm not saying that you all buff up or, cardiovascular fitness is
cardiovascular fitness,
yes, most important, because these guys, as you see in the gym, they're buffing up, but how many of them are actually building up their cardiovascular fitness?
Well, why is that important? Let's start with that, the why of cardiovascular.
Okay, so your heart is beating from the day you were born and it will keep beating till the day you die.
Okay.
Don't you want something that is strong and beats nicely and able to pump blood throughout the body? So cardiovascular fitness, as we define it, is like using a big muscle of your body, okay? You use it at a good moderate intensity. You want to make it work at a good moderate intensity in a rhythmic fashion, okay, and for a prolonged period of time. So that means if you just run from there to here and you say, that's my cardiovascular fitness done, that's not it. You do it for a prolonged period, like about 20 to 30 minutes minimum.
And what does that do for you? Why is that length of time important?
Because that is then training your heart to beat faster, and over a period of time, let's say for a person who's absolutely sedentary and starts working out, over a period of time, his heart muscles get stronger. So with the same amount of work, he's able to push blood, the stroke volume as we call it, better. His stroke volume will increase and his heart will be able to do the same amount of work with lesser effort.
So this also means that if we're going to live longer and longer, Obviously, we need strong hearts to be doing that. But that our hearts will not have to work as hard to keep up with the kind of activities that we take. And of course, our hearts, like every other part of our body, will age as well. So a good enough reason there to keep our hearts strong and fit.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you're saying that we need to be fitting how much of each of these components in our day?
So cardiovascular fitness, they say it's a recommended amount is 150 minutes in a week, throughout the week. So you can distribute it, right? You can do 30 minutes in a day, you can do 20 minutes a day. Somebody who's absolutely sedentary and says, okay, you know what, I have no time to put in any amount of fitness time for my in a day. You can even start with 10 minutes, bouts of 10 minutes in a day. You know, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, and you can distribute it however you like. But let's say a total of 150 minutes a week is ideally what is a cardiovascular fitness that you would say. Require that much.
Okay. So that's already a block of time that we need to be putting aside. But you mentioned that there were other components as well. So then we need to add more time for that as well.
Yes. I mean,
how much would that?
Going to just do 10 minutes, right? Of fitness. So in a day,
well, I mean, you're assuming that most of us even do 10 minutes. A lot of us are not even doing 10 minutes.
Yeah,
so I mean, if we have to make this commitment, what is it looking like?
So an hour a day, at least 3 to 4 times to begin with.
Okay.
I mean, you can be working out every day. So even on the day of your rest, you can do flexibility.
Okay.
Right. So you're not actually loading the muscle. You're helping it to relax. Okay. So you can do on a day off. You can even do yoga. Right. So you can mix and match, and not necessary that if you're looking at one component, the other component doesn't come in. So let's say if you're doing strength, you can also be doing agility exercises. You can also be doing mobility exercises, hypertrophy. You want to build up muscle. So all different components can come in together as well, or you could be looking at individually also, but mostly it works all together.
Okay. But here's the question then. Say I don't have time, you know, I mean, and I'm doing my housework, or I'm doing a little bit of gardening. Would that qualify as exercise as well?
No. What did I say? You know, I mean, that's chores that you're doing throughout the day.
But I'm bending, I'm picking things up, I'm, you know, moving my arms around with the mop.
It's not building up strength. It's, you know, you're not focusing on the muscles in order to gain strength out of it, right? You're doing your household chores, which is good, which is keeping you mobile. Yes.
Okay. So definitely, I mean, I think one thing is that rather than ask a maid to get you a cup of coffee, or, you know, the more you're moving about, it's improving mobility, which is important, because we're otherwise so sedentary. But what then do we need to do? I mean, can we incorporate exercise into housework, for example?
To some extent, yes. You know, the more you move, the better it is for your joints, of course.
Okay.
But you have to plan an exercise routine where, as I said, all these components of fitness can come in.
Okay.
So even, I mean, you don't need to join a gym, or you don't need expensive equipment. You can do simple things like, you know, getting even a resistant band. Okay. So even if you walk with the resistant band around your thighs or your ankles, you're still putting in resistance for your muscles.
Awesome.
So not necessary that you have to join a gym or have expensive equipment. Something very simple can work.
What could we do, like in an office, for example? Now, if I'm sitting, I mean, I had an early morning meeting, I had a late night, I've rushed into the office, haven't had time to go to the gym, and I know that there's an event at the end of my day. Is there anything I can incorporate into the office?
So yes, of course, as I said, see, every exercise routine also has some bit of movement, right? That you warm up. So you can always do your neck rotations, your arm rotations, absolutely simple, that can be done in an office. Yes, moving your shoulders, because also what happens, stiffness sets in into our muscles. So as I said, we things to do while you're in office. Do simple things, chair yoga. I mean, I do chair yoga with people. I do it with people who work in offices and people who are absolutely, quite old. They're not able, they do not have the mobility. So chair yoga, you should not have any excuse to not move.
Okay.
As long as you're alive, you need to move, you need to exercise.
Okay, but here's the question then. How do you find the motivation? You know, exercise is one of those things like quitting smoking. I'm so good at it because I've done it so many times.
Yes.
So we've joined gyms, we've started exercise. How does one find that motivation to say that, you know what, I'm going to take this time out for myself? What finally works in the long run?
So actually, you really hit the nail on the head, because this is something that even I struggle with my clients, because so many of them want to join in, and then somewhere down the line, 6 months or 8 months, they just lose interest, and they discontinue. I think when you start looking at it as a lifestyle change, because you can have maybe a goal at the point that, okay, I want to lose weight,
Mhm.
or I want to become strong, and maybe you get there and then you fizzle out. But if you make it like a lifestyle change, that I want to remain fit,
Mhm.
I want to be able to do all the activities, the daily chores that I'm doing
Mhm.
with absolute ease. I should be able to have energy at the end of the day, not exhausted. I should feel fresh in my mind, because yes, that also has an impact on the way your mind works.
Mhm.
It is definitely recommended for people who are depressed.
I was just going to say, right, what an impact it has on mood. Even if you start off low, if you just somehow push yourself because you're able to see something at the end of the tunnel, you almost always feel better
Yes.
by the end of it.
Yes. So anything, when you see short-term benefits, you'll get it, of course.
Mhm.
But as I said, if you don't make it into a lifestyle change, you will not continue. So you have to look at a broader picture, that yes, how it's going to impact me. You're going to stay free of diseases most of the time. Like nowadays, all these diseases that are all sedentary because of not working, like type 2 diabetes.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
It's
Purely lifestyle, right?
lifestyle
It's purely lifestyle
a
related.
lot of girls are having PCOS because of the lifestyle, the kind of food that they're having, non-activity. So these, if you look at it, you have to think of it long term and make lifestyle changes.
So true. So true. Um, guys, could I request those who are joining the chat to, if you could please mute yourselves, that will help, because there are background noises. Thank you. Okay, Krina, what about things like the 10,000 steps? Everybody's doing it, and we spend it takes a long time. I tried doing it one day, and I was like, wow, I did 3,000 steps. I'm nowhere close, and there's just no more hours left in the day. What are your thoughts on something like that?
There's no harm in it, okay, for someone to just begin.
Mhm.
Because you have a goal, you feel, okay, I need to do those 10,000 steps. There's nothing wrong in it.
Okay.
But don't beat yourself if you don't get there. As you got 3,000, it's good enough. It's
Okay.
better than not doing it at all.
But is it good enough as exercise for the day?
No, because as I said, we need to have all the components of fitness. It could be your goal for that day,
Yeah.
but not the goal for every day.
Understood. It's very important to, so from what I'm understanding, the essential components of exercise are cardiovascular fitness, endurance, agility, flexibility, strength.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And we need to have all of these components in our exercise, not just one
Not
or
just
the other.
one.
And so therefore 10,000 steps would be like just the one part of the cardio act, and maybe some resistance.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Then why are these being peddled like this? I mean, why are people saying, okay, do like HIIT exercise 5 times a week, do marathon running 5 times a week, do 10,000 steps every day?
See, we need to understand, as I said, bringing about a lifestyle change is important. For us, it's all about social media, being seen there.
Okay.
Also, it's a fad. Anything which catches your fancy at that point becomes a fad. Exercise routine, I mean, we've been exercising for always, but why do you think new things come up? Because people get bored and they need to do new things. So doing different things is great, but as long as you understand where your goal is, just not catching up to the different fads, and understanding your own body, and then able to do something that fits into your routine. And as I said, your functionality. So we talk about something called specificity. This is a very important concept that I'm talking about. What happens is that, okay, so now this guy who works out at the gym, okay, he's pumping muscles, he's doing his bicep curl, maybe 60 pounds. So that strength is available to him only when he is doing that bicep curl.
Okay.
That strength will not be available to him otherwise, in another form. Just because he's buffed up, that does not mean that he is strong to do other things.
Wow. Okay, I can totally believe that. We once had a fitness instructor come with us on a trek, and we literally had to carry her down. She simply couldn't do the trek because she didn't have that sort of endurance, right? So that completely explains it. So if I had to go out and shop for somebody to help me, okay, there is always value in professionals. What kind of trainer do I look for? I mean, well, let me start by saying that I think we both have faced this, in that a lot of people are very intimidated by the idea of a gym.
Right.
I know I was, even though I was doing power yoga and stuff, I always associated the gym with like these big guys lifting weights and grunting, and I just felt. So how do you get over that? How do you get over that mindset?
I think that's something that discourages people from going to the gym.
Absolutely, it's intimidating, right? I mean, you feel so silly when you don't know what to do.
Absolutely.
What is the answer to that?
I think what one can do is maybe have a friend to go with.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing.
Okay.
Or hire a trainer. There's nothing wrong in having a good trainer.
Okay.
So that kind of says, okay, I've got someone covered, covering me and showing me what to do, or a friend. And somewhere I think we need to all accept that this is how I am, and this is where I need to start. At least I'm getting out of my bed and doing it. So give yourself credit for every step that you take.
Got it. And if I need to get a trainer to help me out, what kind of trainer am I looking for? Because I know the first time I opted for like a free trial, I mean, I was so knackered. I just collapsed by the end of the workout, because I told him that I was already quite fit, and, I'd been doing power yoga, and what do I look for in a trainer? I didn't go back to him. I can tell you that much. So I don't know who to look for.
See, that's another thing. I think somewhere as personal trainers, as I speak for my community here, I think somewhere, a lot of trainers feel, okay, you know what, I'm going to make her work out right on the first day so much that she's, like you said, you got completely knackered, so that she knows that she had a good workout. So they associate that, okay, if she's really in pain, she's going to think that I made her work out, and therefore I'm good. I think as trainers, we need to be, first of all, confident that we're good, we know, and yes, by developing the skill set for that, not just saying, oh, I'm great, and then somewhere taking some time to understand the client, what he or she can do, what his or her goals are, and then gauging the posture, everything. I think it's going to take you a couple of sessions to be able to scrutinize, screen the person for what his current fitness level is, and then build from there.
Absolutely. It's something I mean, that's so true for everything in life. In philosophy, I always say, if you want to go somewhere, you first need to know where you are right now. I keep using Google Maps as an example, right? When you need to start to say, I want to go here, you start with, I am here now, right?
Yes.
And that becomes such a critical aspect. But Krina, please tell me, who are these trainers who do this? And what kind of training actually teaches you to do that? Because I don't see a lot of that in everyday life.
That's true. So, see, what happens is, as I said, a trainer needs to be, first of all, not, if he's secured in the knowledge that he's good, it'll be easier. And I think, don't you think, like, you're hiring anybody, you get to talk to them, understand what his or her philosophy as a trainer is. Like, my philosophy at the beginning is, I never want to injure a client. So I'm very conservative in my approach, even if I say so myself. I will not advocate. I know of a trainer who, my client went to him for the first time. This was back, she was telling me, the first day he made her do 350 squats.
Wow.
Okay. Not even knowing what she was capable of.
If you've never tried it, let me tell you that doing 50 squats in a day is super tough. It took me like several weeks to work up to that. 350 squats
on the first day, and the next day 500 lunges. The third day 800 jumping jacks.
The fourth day she probably didn't get out of bed, is my guess.
She went to the doctor.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So okay, is there somebody that trains you in this? I mean, to not do this, let me put it that way, or to understand your needs.
So you have courses that you sign up for. I mean, I did a 6-month course from ACSM, that's American College of Sports Medicine.
That's an international certification.
Yes.
So that's a good one to look out for, you're saying?
Yeah.
What's special about ACSM, for example?
So first of all, I think I love the faculty. All the teachers,
I mean, in terms of a trainee, why would I look out for somebody with an ACSM certification?
Because as I said, it's not, we know exercises. You go to a gym, today Google is there. I mean, you have YouTube to find out all the exercises. But the philosophy, as I said, the values that we place for a good trainer, that's what I inculcated from there.
Okay.
Being professional about your work.
Okay.
Always treat the client as an individual. There's no formula that fits all. You can't make a program and say, today I'm going to go for 10 clients and I'm going to fit this for all of them.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't fit all.
Yeah.
So to be able to recognize that, I think that's what I learned from my training, that every person is different. his posture is different, his goals are different. So you've got to make the program for that person. And also it keeps changing over a period of time.
Okay.
Also, so a good trainer is someone who understands that, and he is able to understand what the client's needs are before putting his skill set to show on show.
Like, okay. So I do know that besides ACSM, which is an international certification, there are a few others.
Yes.
I'll mention them in the chat box below. But very briefly, there's ACE, there's ISSA, ISSA, NASM. I think these international certifications all pretty much go from the point of view of understand the client's needs first, keep them safe above all else, and then progress very slowly. I do know you mentioned that earlier as well about slow progression, yes, right? Sometimes we get very frustrated that a month down, we haven't even reached those 50 squats. Right. What is your thought on that?
As I said, you want to make sure that your client is safe. Okay. Also, is he or she enjoying your workout?
Okay.
Right? You may plan something, so I think you need to put in that factor also. The workout should be enjoyable at the end of it, because you want to sustain.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. I think things like gamification, rewards, sweat points, all these things work to a certain extent, but eventually, Krina, the bottom line is that this has to be lifestyle change. Yes. My second takeaway, the most important takeaway, is that exercise has to incorporate all of these elements. Yes. And for very good reasons, including the fact that I think human longevity is now increasing, but our health necessarily isn't getting better. So we need to look a little long term and think about prioritizing exercise into our daily life, right?
Absolutely.
I did have one other question which had come to us earlier, which is about social media. A lot of it makes us feel really bad about ourselves. You see all these like six-pack abs and these super flexible yoginis. How did they get there, and how do we stop ourselves from feeling bad about this?
Fitness is more nowadays. It's about, in fact, I think always, it's about aesthetic. Everyone says, okay, this is the kind of look that I want, right? Not thinking about fitness at all. In fact, it's just about aesthetics. I want to have that puffed up look. I want to lose weight. Nowhere does one say, you know what, I want to feel good when I wake up in the morning. When I come back after a long day, I should still have fit, I should be still feeling fresh. We say that, no. We say, I want to look like that. So, and all of this social media is totally buying into those same stories over and over again, trying to sell us bodies,
yes,
that we may never acquire, even if we do all of that.
Absolutely.
Right? So
absolutely.
accepting where we are, and then trying just to think of getting better from there. Strength wise, I should, most of the days, I should not be down. Your white blood cells, they fight better. Your immune system gets better. So don't you think that's a good thing? Okay, I'm not falling sick anymore.
So true.
I have so much energy to do to carry out all my tasks
and to be there for the ones who I love, and to live the life that I want to lead, right?
Yes.
What could be a better reason than that?
Yes.
And that could look very different from what we actually see with those buff photos and those crazy poses.
And that it could be always photoshopped.
That is also true. Okay, great. We're running out of time. I always promise that we'll stay within a half an hour limit.
Sure.
Once again, guys, I'm sorry about the glitch and that you having to switch to Zoom. We will post a recording of this on YouTube. And if you have any questions, I promise we will address them in another session or offline. Krina's contacts I will put in the chat box below as well. Thank you once again for joining me. And I hope that today's webinar has had some meaning for you. And my question to you is, what will you do differently from today onwards? Thank you, Krina, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I hope we can both have this session in another 50 years, still being strong and fit, if not being Instagram fit. Thank you, guys, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.